for a long time I've been interested in angels and demons, and I've been interested in offering a course that would talk about their usage in theology. This arose from my studies of theology as I saw that both of these supernatural creatures, the angels and the demons, they played roles in theology. They weren't just these interesting things to speculate about or satisfying a curiosity or something like that. No, they were put to specific theological use. And it was a very important theological use. And it was as I was reading this sort of theology that I began to recognize that there were dangers in removing angels and demons from our theological discussions because the role that they formed in theology would suddenly go unfulfilled. And that would open the door to further abuses. It's a lot easier to elevate humanity to the status of divinity when you don't have to leave room for angels between humans and God. At the same time, there's a lot of really cool speculative theology about them, about what their nature is. This is what leads to questions like how many angels can dance on the head of a pin, which is not an idle question at all, but it's a deep question about both the nature of angels and the nature of space. But whenever I talk about angels and the angelic nature, I'm always met with, well, how do we know that? Where does that come from? What are these ideas based on? So I want to bring all of those considerations together in this course. I want to talk about the history of the development of the idea of angels and demons, the doctrines of them, why they're described as being what they are, why they have the properties that they do. And then I want to go on and talk about how they were used by various theologians of the past, what role they played in their theological systems, and what we lose if we don't have them in those systems. So this class, my goal is not to make it a random exercise in thinking about the possibility of what might be the case if this thing were true. Very ungrounded. We will do some of that because it's a delight to do so. But the primary focus is on the role of angels and demons in the concrete theological tradition as we have it, and the sober assessment of the value of thinking about these guys in that way and talking about them and writing about them in those sorts of ways. There's a lot of cool stuff to be seen here. There's a lot of ideas that will press your understanding of what it means to be a creature, what it means to be a place, what it means to be physical, and all these sorts of things. And so I hope that you will be able to come along so that we can together take a look at angels and demons in the Christian theological tradition.